10, me and top of my top 10s, lining up in 10s and them inbox Roxanne's. Hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. That fish scale get deflected like some dry skin. I'm tied in, fans wanna see me boxed in. Don't hit my line trying to shop if you ain't buying 10. I'm chimed in with them growlers and them cowdins, trapping out your favorite restaurant, it's time to dine in. Slide suicide, hopping out the soccer mom vans. I know these niggas ain't gon' ride if it's not swing. We quick to hit a nigga block and let that chop spin. He rockin' with the other side, that he the ops bin. Ride with this stick, fully loaded in this drop bins. Concrete and shit, we don't fall, we do not bend. Anywhere other than Detroit, your shit do not trend. You know my niggas run a route like a wide end. I'm on 10, man, top in my top 10. It's hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. I'm tied in, fam, here we go, we locked in. We locked in, ho, here we go, we locked. I'm on 10, man, top in my top 10. It's hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. I'm tied in, fam, here we go, we locked in. We locked in, ho, here we go, we locked.
Yeah. You are now tuned into the most watched Leah Valley.
Where we at?
We in the motherfucking. We in the tit to hell with Leah Val. I know you like it. I know you like it.
I'm on 10, me and top of my top 10s, lining up in 10s and them inbox Roxanne's. Hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. That fish scale get deflected like some dry skin. I'm tied in, fans wanna see me boxed in. Don't hit my line trying to shop if you ain't buying 10. I'm chimed in with them growlers and them cowdins, trapping out your favorite restaurant, it's time to dine in. Slide suicide, hopping out the soccer mom vans. I know these niggas ain't gon' ride if it's not swing. We quick to hit a nigga block and let that chop spin. He rockin' with the other side, that he the ops bin. Ride with this stick, fully loaded in this drop bins. Concrete and shit, we don't fall, we do not bend. Anywhere other than Detroit, your shit do not trend. You know my niggas run a route like a wide end. I'm on 10, man, top in my top 10. It's hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. I'm tied in, fam, here we go, we locked in. We locked in, ho, here we go, we locked. I'm on 10, man, top in my top 10. It's hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. I'm tied in, fam, here we go, we locked in. We locked in, ho, here we go, we locked. I'm high strung, couple where the good guy. You in the graveyard under my belt, put that shit on my son. I live in Icon, from London back to Taiwan. Finessed them out of 20, then I sent them on a dry run. They know we keep that hot fire like I'm Dylan. Hey, when a nigga finger fuck the bag and never buy none. It's bully boys, that's me and my thugs. Was looking for some trouble whether day you found the right ones. I taught the niggas how to hustle up the pie crumbs. I did the Paul Detroit bubble off the white ones. I'm cut from that steel wool, these niggas nylon. Nigga can touch a couple million on the right run. Soon as the biggies touch down across the pie line, you need to shoot your mans up the hush to get his ice done. All of these bands on the floor with the dice, bruh. That's all my niggas do is sell dope and back up.
Yeah.
I'm on 10, man, top in my top 10. Hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. Tied in, fam, here we go, we locked in. We locked in, ho, here we go, we locked. I'm on 10, man, top in my top 10. Hot damn ho, here we go, we locked in. I'm tied in, fam, here we go, we locked in. We locked in, ho, here we go, we locked.
Yeah, we hit, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Yes, sir. And we back, and we pour. Voulez-vous wisher avec moi, bitches? Remix. Chilling in the beamer. Listen at me, Phantom. Let me stop playing. Listen, man, we here. Let's get into this shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it. For real. Let's motherfucking get it, man. We got a nice little quick one for y'all. Joe Budden went on Akademiks podcast And you know, he had some words and shit. So let's see what he had to say.
Even you had a podcast network. Maybe I look at it like maybe Joe is not good administratively. Maybe he's not good doing things. He's a lot of artists aren't good at actually managing a schedule. You know what I mean? Their brain is so occupied with certain things that I look at him like Joe's a great person to get that idea from, to execute on a talent level, but to kind of manage, like let's say podcast network. You got to get Joe out of the paint.
I agree. That's what I learned starting a podcast network. It took me to start a podcast network to learn. Hey, I don't really want to speak to all these podcasts. Like, that's not my role. Like, I may have a vision, I may help with that, but I don't want to speak to podcasters day to day and be in charge or be responsible for their growth. I don't want to be in that position.
Yeah, I felt like you were
You see, a lot of people realize that they not really like meant to be bosses and shit like that. After they become that, to be in a leadership. I don't know why I still keep looking like that. I don't know. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. Nah, we gonna turn it back anyway. Motherfucking thing there, man. I don't know why my shit is not like this shit ain't hitting right. Let me see. I don't know. Evil. Motherfucking a lot of motherfucking podcasters though, and just anybody in general. You know, they get into like a leadership position and realize like you gotta be more than just a person that's able to tell people what commands to do and what to do on the job, but you gotta sometimes offer life advice. You gotta be there for them people. You gotta kind of be like a father figure or uncle. You know what I mean? I say it like that. You gotta be like an uncle to really be able to really be able to nurture talent, in a productive manner.
Ship, you are super. You're the leader of the ship. You're the creative. You're the mastermind behind it. But then I think with everybody who comes in, which that's one of the scary parts about it. And now this side of it is where people's livelihoods and their ability to make an income or their scope of how their career should go is now dependent on you. And honestly, it's kind of like I've always said about music managers. I could never, and that's one of the reasons I never even started a label. Executives too, you have to like coddle and like pay attention.
Yeah.
I got one. I do. You gotta really like micromanage everyone, and you gotta like focus on the business, but you also gotta be you. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out to be so much. I've always said most people have the business guy, but also the guy who's gonna deal with everything else and allows you to do what you just do.
Yeah.
And where are you with like a podcast network now? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, seeing you doing that and seeing the amount of people who I meet daily, like, yo, Ak, I look up to you, yo, Ak, you're the reason why I got into this, yo, Ak, how could I, whatever. I'm like, I'm at the point where I could probably throw alley-oops with the network, but also I don't want to be bogged down like you were, where now it hurts more than it helps.
Yeah, I jumped out the gate too fast. For me, I thought I saw like a viable road to help a large group of people at the same time. But like I said, everybody has their own visions. For me, I can't be trying to help somebody and then they come and have a problem with whatever I'm doing. It's like, oh, wait, are we just disagree? I can't do that. So no, I had to remove myself. I had to get insulated with that. As far as a network, what is network? A network is help, right? It's a crew, it's hands-on, it's relationships, it's cameras, it's different teams. And I still have that. But the truth of it is,
you do have an infrastructure which I believe could easily produce 5 to 10 podcasts weekly.
We could
seamlessly.
But no, we can't. I mean, we could. So and we have.
So it's just the personalities.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
You see, even though in podcasting you can just put out like a lot of content and shit like that, but there's a spiritual toll that these podcasts take on you that a lot of people don't really realize or kind of deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be a content creator and stuff like that, and to really, go out there and do this type of work, you really, really, really got to be dedicated to it. You really got to do your research. You really got to be a reader. You got to be a researcher. You got to be fearless. And I think, a lot of people just jump out there, hey, even me, you know what I mean? And it's uphill battle. And I think, Joe, you know what it is with us black people? We look at things and we don't compare it to like the bigger picture, for lack of better terms, right? So Joe looked at himself as a podcaster, right? The same like little situation I said with like Seti Nash. With Seti Nash, I want to call himself a journalist, even though he is a journalist technically, right? But he don't want to call himself a journalist because it's kind of like corny. So Joe didn't want to kind of look at it like he's a news network. He want to look at it like he's a podcast network. When in all actuality, when you do Joe Budden the network, now you're taking on CNN, Black News Net. Now you're taking on a whole lot of people, and I think that I think that all the scrutiny that he faced outside of media, right? When they started talking about he was having sex with his dogs allegedly and all this other stuff and DV charges, like, you know what I mean? Like, listen, when I start getting, you all know I'm getting big. When you see one of my motherfucking old sex tapes come out, you know what I'm saying? When you see one of my old fucking cases come out, one of my hundreds of cases, or, you know what I'm saying, hundreds of mug shots or some shit, or, you know what I mean, all types of fights I done had in the Bronx and all this wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we lived our life before this shit. You feel me? Before we, decided to take on this journalistic pledge to the truth and and exposing corruption. So, unfortunately, content, especially content in the matter of researching and speaking truth to power, takes a very large spiritual toll on people. And you can't just put out 50 videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work like that. No.
Honestly, like, I can't even get into it without like getting into it. So I'm trying not to. But like, I've had a few all women podcasts.
Why did you go that route?
I love women. I love women.
I would argue.
I love women. I always feel like women are in, their voices should be amplified. Like, I feel like they need strong backing. I love women. Women need to be backed by strong men sometimes. And in this space
you see, and that right there is always gonna be Joe's downfall, man. Them chicks, man. Them chicks, man. Them chicks is always gonna be Joe's downfall. I'm telling you. Like, yo, strong women, this and a third, like, so maybe the network would have worked, had he brought more guys on to do shows and stuff like that, right? You know what I mean? He did have like a whole bunch of female shows. I think one of them's still on there. I don't be seeing their stuff no more. They probably either just ended, like, see, the thing is, I think that's what they doing is, or maybe they on break, I'm not sure. Then that other girl had the show. I forgot her name, the Haitian girl. Oh shit, I forgot her name. But either or, she had a show, whatever the case may be. The one that they sued and all that took Jonah Lucas money and all that stuff. The little grifter, So they was doing all those shows or whatever the case may be. A lot of female type oriented shows, and then the scandals broke, and then it was supposed to be H. It was a whole lot going on, man.
Underrepresented. Yeah, I thought that was a great move.
That's a nice fit, by the way, too. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? The shoes is a little bit off in the thumbnail, but outside of the shoes, that's a nice little fit.
To just lead that way, especially with women I cared about.
But I'd argue, because of your audience, and you have a large audience, which I would say is...
Somebody got on Jamaican Crocs.
Man, you have women as well.
Joe got on Jamaican Crocs.
It'll be easier to jumpstart, which I think, here's the thing. And you're now a label for podcasts when you're a network, right? So someone's thinking, hey, how do I get from... Z to A, right? And A being the top, right? And they're looking at you like, well, you get all these views if 30% of your audience fucks with me, is whatever.
And that's the other thing. My audience is unique to me. It's been curated that way for years and years and years. So when I work with podcasters, consistency is number one for me and their work ethic. Like, once you commit, you kind of got to commit to building your pod, your audience, and researching and seeing what works and what don't work. You can't just look for a quick route. You can't look to come sit on my pod and
that's a fact. Research
some of this audience and sit with Ak and take some of that audience, or just watch what somebody is doing and try to apply it. It's lazy. And in podcasting, that laziness will never work.
True indeed.
It'll never work. So anyway,
Ak is stuck. Ak is sitting there like, damn, that was my whole motherfucking method. That's how I got lit. I took everybody else's format. Yo, look at this nigga Ak face though. Like, look at this nigga face. This nigga is fucking stuck, son. Look at this nigga. Yeah. Ak is funny sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. This nigga's funny.
I learned that I needed to be insulated and didn't want to have those creator to creator talks with other podcasters, because it would turn into me trying to convince them to do it one way and them trying to tell me of another way to do it, and nobody's right or wrong.
I think Joe's a poor communicator too, low key. I ain't gonna lie. I think, you know what it is, that Joe has a very condescending tone, and sometimes people tell me I got that same problem. I talk to people like personally, so I think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like he tried to talk to them, and they take that shit wild left. Like, yo, fuck you mean? Like, what you mean? I'm watching other niggas shows. You want me to slap the shit out you? And that's why he try to get girls, and then the girls get all sassy with him, and then they be flipping Joe. They be spinning Joe. All it takes is a stripper bitch with some good coochie to spin Joe. So yeah, that was bad. You got to have some discipline.
Million ways to do this thing. Mine's worked for me and have worked for a few other people. Not to say another way can't work for somebody, but I didn't want to do that. So I have me. Karen Civil is still with me.
Oh, nice.
She's a rider.
That's salute to Karen.
Karen's a rider.
Did you figure out?
That's her name.
Did you figure out in all that what it might be like being on the opposite side? Because you've always seen shit as a creator, but it was the first time when I watched like so many people coming out to try to say things or accuse or this and third, and I'm looking at Joe. I'm like, Joe, you're complex. You're now the conglomerate that people think is heartless, doesn't get it, doesn't see the creator side, except you are the creator in what you do. And if people would think, they're like, yo, of course Steve Nash is gonna be a great coach. Yo, you're a fucking phenomenal basketball player, right?
But Steve Nash is a horrible coach. The fucking Brooklyn just got swept. What is the thing talking about?
Yes, right. But still, they're looking at you to say, if anyone would get the creator, it's the creator who's now the boss. But then you're forced to make boss decisions. Did you see anything through making those decisions that made you realize that maybe Complex, I get it. In whether it's Complex, Def Jam, or anywhere else, like maybe you understood the establishment a little bit different.
Well, when I work, like me as a worker, I'm a worker. Like I'm there on time and I'm getting to it, right? So it's different. It's different when you're the person that has to. They love you, then they hate you, then they love you again. It's different when you're the person that has to say, "Hey, can you not be late because of traffic?" Like traffic is not acceptable.
And you're really big on punctuality.
I'm really big on time being our most valuable inventory.
Yeah, right. So that's what Joe said. As far as the network goes, right? So there was also another live in which Joe Budden spoke on the podcast on Rory and Mo.
Yo, niggas just don't understand my brain and ask me so I can explain it. But Joe, it wasn't a beef.
When those last 4 episodes of you leaving Spotify, I saved it. Joe, I'll start this off. And by the way, if you don't know, this is Off the Record Podcast on Spotify. Yes, don't adjust your sets. What you have here, which doesn't have to do too much begging. We got Joe Budden.
You didn't have to beg at all. You said, yo, come do my shit. I said, right, bet. I said, come do mine. You came.
You know, I've asked everybody except you because I'm like, Joe might feel insulted if I ask them to come on my platform that's now exclusively distributed by Spotify.
Why would I feel insulted?
Because I felt you had a Spotify beef.
You can't have, Spotify is a tool. You can't have beef with a tool.
Shout out to Spotify.
Now you got beef.
I did not have beef.
Joe, do you know how, well, first of all, and we can get back into
Yo, if niggas just don't understand my brain and ask me so I can explain it. But
Joe,
it wasn't a beef.
When those last 4 episodes of you leaving Spotify, I saved, and I never saved podcasts, and I listened to them every time I took a
clinic. No, stop. Before you say another word. A clinic in podcasting and delivering a message. Them last 4 episodes.
Some might say it was a clinic.
A karate class, master class on how to podcast.
Some people say it was a clinic on how to destroy your brand.
Who are these people?
I watched it.
Who are these people? Yeah, come on.
That is super good. How to destroy your podcast in 26 minutes.
Y'all say that and my value will keep going up. How come y'all never say that part when y'all be talking like that? Not you, but the niggas.
Well, I've seen the good. But I'm gonna be honest though, before going to Spotify, I was watching those and I'm like, yo, Christmas came and I was like, the used Rolex is about to get offered to me. But I don't know if that's true.
You think I made that up?
Who's Rolex?
You think I made that up? You think I'm lying about used Rolexes with a company? To what benefit?
Because you have those 2 idiots on your fucking team.
I will not allow you to do that while I'm sitting here because I don't have control over these edits.
Did you edit the Patreon episode?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I edited.
Are you sparing film? They don't like you.
Act. That's
you
not.
You go on one lunch date with RORY and
that's not the man that I am, yo. I'm not never gonna be nowhere and just niggas could just talk fly about niggas while I'm there. Or while I know it don't.
I wonder if academics know that RORY and Joe Budden's actually cool right now. I wonder if you know that, right? Shout out to Smoke Dizza and 183rd. And 183rd, you owe me a goddamn interview, man. Please let me get that interview.
Matter. That don't even matter.
All right, you fired niggas when they were there. Do you regret that? Be honest.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Regret.
Well, yeah, there's footage of me talking to an invisible chair. I mean, without context, it looks
viral.
I don't care.
It's content.
I don't care about going viral, man. All right, let me get out of here because this nigga trying to really get information out of me, man.
No, but I haven't seen that part of you where you ever. See? I've been trying to figure out at points that you wish you didn't do something, and I used to quiz you on.
So yeah, man, that was motherfucking that. Shit got real motherfucking spicy real quick. That nigga Joe got the fuck up off live. If Act knew how to get that nigga up off live that quick, he got him up off live. So that's that right there. This the fucking lighter that don't work. God damn it. But yeah, that was that right there. I tried to, sneak the RORY and more shit in at the end and all that. Like I did that, right? But yeah, man, that's mostly that. If y'all want to go check out the whole interview, go to Spotify, Home Team, and go check out Off the Record, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to say some wild shit, but I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that this part. But you already know, man. We out of here, man. 40 to the motherfucking family, man. Oh, wow, to the motherfucking G's. You are now rocking with the best Black Renaissance podcast. And check out Malloy.org.